Welcome to our Flow for Everyone and Sage 200 demonstration webinar. Here you get to see workflow automation in action with Sage 200. As a Sage partner, we developed Flow for Everyone to address the need of Sage users who require workflow automation, particularly with purchase orders. Apologies, I'm not sure why this is popping up on the right-hand side here. I'm Leslie Harnwell. I'm Data for Everyone's marketing manager. Having had years of experience with multiple ERPs and CRMs, as well as digital solutions, I understand the need for systems that simplify processes and improve efficiency. And that's exactly what Flow for Everyone does. On the agenda today, we will look at the reality of manual processes and the impact of those manual processes on your business. After which we'll walk you through the solution, Flow for Everyone, and review how automated workflows maintain visibility throughout the process. We'll look at some key features of Flow for Everyone and some Flow for Everyone and Sage 200 workflow use cases. Then, of course, the hot topic of AI agents as a Flow for Everyone add-on that utilizes AI to reduce manual processes. Then it's over to Kylie Zulu, who will demonstrate a purchase order workflow process in Sage 200 with Flow for Everyone. Finishing off with questions and answers where we'll address your questions and after which we are offering an obligation-free workflow solution assessment where you can further understand the benefits for your business. You are welcome to book after the webinar or feel free to reach out to sales should you have any queries. Here you can see a diagram of the broken flow. Many organizations still use this manual process, often resulting in frustrated employees who, with limited visibility, are required to follow up with team members. Sorry about this. Read AI is giving us a lot of problems here in the corner. Sorry about that. Many organizations still use manual processes, often resulting in frustrated employees who, with limited visibility, are required to follow up with team members and frequently re-enter data as the process moves along. Starting with a request, an employee receives an email that moves onto a manual tracker, often in Excel. Data must be manually re-entered for review by the next approver, and this step is open to finger errors as well as further delays. There's no clear sight of when the approver must or does approve. Notifications are often via email or verbal, which can easily be lost or simply forgotten. Information is spread across different users' folders, revisions are often overlooked, and time is wasted searching for them. Finally, when approval is received, data must be re-entered again into the financial systems, which creates further potential for data errors. And only then do stakeholders or project managers see where the process is sitting. The visibility comes right at the end, which is often too late to resolve issues efficiently. For example, imagine running a project with a very tight deadline. Suppliers require a few days lead time from the PO to manufacture. By the time you realize the PO has only just been sent, it could already be too late. Never mind if the PO was incorrect. This, of course, has an impact on your business. And this is what a lot of organizations are struggling with today. Work moves between people, emails, and disconnected systems, which creates friction at every step. Productivity is lost as teams spend more time chasing updates and managing admin than doing actual work. Manual processes also increase the risk of errors, which then creates rework and further delays down the line. Manual approvals also slow everything down because work sits in inboxes with no structured flow or clear ownership. And without a connected view, there's limited visibility. So bottlenecks are only discovered once the damage is already done. The issue isn't just inefficiency in one area, it's accumulation of small breakdowns across the entire process. With information trapped across multiple systems, tools, and spreadsheets, the process is disconnected and delayed. Think of the out-of-the-box Flow for Everyone as your procurement manager, delegating tasks quickly and ensuring all documentation is in one place with the correct information at the fingertips of all who are involved. Flow for Everyone workflow automation provides a central platform for managing requests, documents, and approvals. No need to follow up. Users know what the status is and what is required next. With the central platform embedded in Microsoft Teams and Outlook, Flow4Everyone promotes seamless adoption by sitting in the tools that employees already use. With reduced manual processes that prevent data errors and processes with real-time visibility, Flow4Everyone exposes bottlenecks within processes and improves accountability. Flow4Everyone does exactly as the name implies, keeping processes moving along so team members can focus on the tasks at hand. With a full audit trail, employees reduce time spent on follow-ups with Flow4Everyone's trackable process history. Review delays and causes to identify bottlenecks and improve accountability. Here we see the diagram again, but this time it's not manual. With workflow automation, the process moves from user to approver or approvers in real time. You'll notice in this diagram that there's full visibility throughout the process. You'll see the little gray arrows go from each step straight into the reporting block. From the first request to the final submission, all steps are documented and accounted for. Notifications are sent instantly and are viewable on Teams and/or Outlook, so users can action accordingly even when on the go. Promoting compliance, Flow4Everyone can be set up with your organization's policies in mind. If a request is denied, it simply goes through the process again. Rectified data is resubmitted and the work flows seamlessly. No follow-ups. No where are we with this project. Simple, actionable data available whenever you need it. Enter Flow4Everyone. Flow4Everyone is an enterprise-grade solution built for SMBs at around half the cost of standard solutions. Flow4Everyone offers a fixed subscription with unlimited users. This means it has a predictable cost model with no per-user pricing, allowing expanding teams to scale without upsetting the bank. Use Flow4Everyone as a standalone or fully integrated with your ERP, including on-prem systems where connections are available. With enhanced document management, users can attach up to 10 files per flow, ensuring that all relevant documentation is in a central and easily accessible place. Built for multi-entity operations, Flow4Everyone centralizes approvals, documents, and data across multiple business units for consistent control and visibility. As Flow4Everyone is developed in-house by our dev team, the scope is extensive with powerful workflow add-ons. Also offering AI agents as an add-on for advanced automation, Flow4Everyone further reduces manual effort, errors, and delays with the help of artificial intelligence. Here we have some examples of Sage and Flow4Everyone use cases. As Sage is designed to manage business transactions and not end-to-end business workflows, Flow4Everyone complements your ERP by automating approvals, requests, and document-driven processes across the business. Addressing the need for Sage procurement workflow automation, Flow4Everyone is included out of the box with purchase order approvals at a flat rate of $185 per month, with unlimited workflows and 3 approvers per flow. Optional add-ons like the stock adjustment module, which triggers a workflow for stock adjustment requests, and sales discount approval flow that requires approval for discounts, are quoted based on your company's workflow requirements. Again, the scope is extensive with powerful workflow capabilities. Our team at Data4Everyone will assess your company's requirements and develop workflow capabilities and AI systems based on your organization's needs, and not a uniform solution that ignores individual business requirements. Everybody's talking about AI, and rightly so. With the help of AI agents, your workflow processes are streamlined even further. With a dedicated mailbox, AI agents can read PDF documents and submit them for approval. So, for example, if suppliers send you invoices that require approval prior to payment, your AI agent will read the PDF document and write the details into your workflow, kicking off the approval process. With organizations that have multiple workflows running, AI agents can assist by routing the information to the correct flow by setting up predefined rules. Flow4Everyone relieves employees of repetitive tasks, allowing them to bring more value to the company, while artificial intelligence manages the mundane. Let's jump into the demo with Kylie Zulu. Kylie Zulu has become our Flow4Every1 product ambassador, playing a key role in development along with our lead developer, Michael Khoes. Kaya has first-hand knowledge of Flow4Every1's functionality and is best equipped to demonstrate the solution. Over to you, Kaya.
Thank you kindly, Liz. Greetings, everyone. As my colleague has highlighted, my name is Kaya. I am the product ambassador of Flow4Every1, and I will be leading this demonstration this morning. May I confirm, is everyone able to see my screen? Okay. So I would like to begin firstly by illustrating how we are able to add Flow4Every1 to our side pane, both on desktop and mobile views. So in Teams, we will just navigate to add applications. And then once that window opens up, we will navigate to build with Power Platform. And this is where we will be able to locate Flow4Every1 among the applications listed. So we are then able to right click on it, install, and then once it is installed, we will launch the application, which will then open it in the side pane where we can right click on it again and just pin it to our side pane. So once the application is launched, we are then presented with the dashboard view where we are able to review the history of purchase order requests that are both sent and received. And we are also able to configure the administrative configurations. So we access the admin configurations by just clicking on the config button, and then that will open the admin window where on the left-hand side, we are able to configure the admin user, the CRM type, which is either Sage or Business Central, and we are able to review the company details as well. On the right-hand side, this is where we're able to configure the limits of authority by amount, and we're able to configure up to 3 approvers and 3 sub-approvers. So the sub-approvers are useful in the instances where the main approver is unavailable to approve at the moment. The purchase order request will be sent to both the approver and the sub-approver, so they are able to take the action from there. So for the purpose of the demonstration, I've just configured myself as the approver and the sub-approver, and down at the bottom, we are able to select the company from the available configured companies in the drop-down and save the configurations. If we take a look at the top left corner, we have 2 buttons for the audit trail and the integration manager. When we click on the audit trail, this is where we are able to view the transactional history of all the purchase orders that have been sent, and we are able to select any and select to return to originator at the bottom. So this is useful in the instances where there are errors or adjustments that are required on the purchase order. We're able to navigate to the audit trail, select the requested purchase order, return to originator, which will then return it to the person that requested it for them to make the adjustments and resubmit for approval. On the left-hand side, we have the integration manager where we are able to view the purchase orders that did not integrate with the ERP and the reason why they did not integrate. So if there are any available, we can just select and then select reintegrate, which will then reintegrate with the ERP. So to navigate back to the dashboard window, we can just click the X icon, and we will now walk through the process of creating a purchase order. We can simply click on Add New, and then from the Create a New flow, we will select a company from the available companies, and then we will click on the Purchase Order button. This will then, in the background, prepare the purchase order screen, which we will then use to capture the header details and the line details of the purchase order, which pulls directly from our ERP. So once that screen is loaded, I will demonstrate how this is done. So I would like to begin by highlighting that everything on this window, all the available drop-downs, pull data through a live connection to the ERP. So we will then begin to populate the purchase order with some test data using the data that is available from the drop-downs. And once we have populated the header, we are then able to add a line to the details where we are going to capture the transaction details of the purchase order based off of the quote from the supplier. So for the purpose of the demonstration, we will just be using some test values. And once that is complete, you will see that the totals populate automatically, and this exposes the submit button, which we will then use to send the purchase order through for approval. But in addition to that, we have the functionality to upload file in the instances where we want to attach the quote from the supplier to the purchase order, so that the person that is approving or reviewing the purchase order is able to review the quote as well and compare. So once this is complete, we can then submit it for approval. And in the background, this will then kick off the approval process. So once this is complete, it will then navigate us back to the dashboard screen, where we will be presented with the notifications that the approval has been created and the purchase order request has been sent. So when we take a look at the status column, we're able to see that the current status of the purchase order is still creating. So we can simply refresh this by clicking the button on received, and then this will then refresh the column and update the status once it is requested. In addition to this, we do receive a notification. Because I have configured myself as both the user and the approver, I will receive the notification in my Teams and Outlook of the purchase order request, where I can then review from both platforms, which I will demonstrate as well. But I will begin with demonstrating Flow for Everyone. So we are able to review the transaction detail of the purchase order by just clicking on the I toggle. And then this will enable us to inspect the details that have been captured in the purchase order. So this will take us to the read-only screen, where we're able to review everything that has been captured, the line items and the totals. And we are also able to click on the attachment, which will then open the quote that was attached, and we are able to review for comparison. Once we are satisfied and we have completed our review, we are able to take action from here, which is either to approve or reject the PO. And then we can navigate back to the dashboard screen by clicking on the X icon. In addition to this, we are also able to take action on the requested purchase order from our Teams notifications. So we do get an approval request where we're able to review the details of the purchase order, review who it was requested by, and we can then add additional comments and take action from there to either approve or reject it. And we can also navigate to Outlook, where we will receive a similar notification of the purchase order request, who it was requested by, and we can review the details from here as well and take further action to approve it or reject it. So navigating back to Flow for Everyone, we will navigate back to our dashboard. So we do have functionality to approve it from inside the purchase order, but we do also have functionality to approve it from the dashboard view. This is in the instances where you have multiple purchase order requests and you just want to do a bulk approval. So you can just select all the purchase order requests and just click on approve lines. So in the background, this will then kick off the approval process. And then it provides us with the notification that the bulk approval has been complete. So once this has been completed, we wait for the notification that will let us know that the purchase order has integrated successfully with our ERP. So once we receive that notification, we can also click on the received button just to refresh the status. And once that has refreshed, we can have a look at the reference number column, which will then indicate and let us know whether the purchase order has integrated successfully. So as we wait on that notification, we'll just navigate back to the dashboard and I will click refresh again. In addition to this, I would like to demonstrate as well how we are able to create a purchase order that has multiple line items. So I will follow the similar process of selecting the company, selecting the purchase order. And then once the purchase order screen loads in the background, I will then walk us through the process of creating multiple line items. attaching the quote and sending it through for approval as well. So once the screen loads, we walk through the similar process of selecting the supplier, and then we just populate all the required fields with the necessary data. And once this has been complete, we are then able to add a line and populate it with some sample data. And then we will add another line. And we will add the subsequent attachments as well. Once this is complete and we have reviewed everything, we can then click on submit, which will kick off the approval process in the background. So once this is complete, it will then return us to the dashboard screen where we are able to review the status of the request. And we can see that the purchase order is requested. We can then inspect the purchase order by clicking on the I toggle so that we're able to review the specific transactional line details to ensure that everything has been captured correctly and the totals aggregate properly, and we're able to then view the quotation from the purchase order for comparison. So once we have reviewed that, we're able to take further action from both Outlook, Teams, and from Flow4Every1 dashboard. So with this one, I will approve it from inside the purchase order, and that will kick off the approval process in the background. So once that is complete, it will return us to the dashboard where we are able to review all the previous requested purchase orders. So while we wait for that purchase order to integrate, I will review the previous one that we created with just the one line item where we are able to see that it is now integrated with the ERP. We're able to see that it was approved, and we can see the integrated PO number has populated successfully. So in the instances where we do have multiple approvers configured, it will display all of them in order, and it will display the next person that is meant to approve the purchase order. So to navigate back, we will just click X. And in addition, we can see in the reference number column, we do have the reference number retrieved from the ERP to display that the purchase order has integrated for both POs, the first one and the second one that we just requested with the multiple line items. We will just inspect this one as well to review the individual line items and ensure that everything was captured correctly. The integrated PO number has populated correctly. We do have the line items and the totals have aggregated properly. We can see who it was approved by and the time, and we are able to click on the attachment to view the quote and compare it with everything that has been captured in the purchase order. So we can now click on the X, which will return us to our dashboard view, and we can confirm this integration by navigating to our ERP, which I will now demonstrate. And once we have navigated and logged into our ERP, we can then just click on Find, and then this should refresh the view and display the purchase orders that we have just integrated, which is purchase order 130 and 131. And we can confirm this by navigating back to Flow4Every1, and we can confirm the reference numbers of both POs, 130 and 131. So in addition to this, I would like to demonstrate our AI agent, the functionality of our AI agent, which streamlines this process and removes the need for manual input. So I will then navigate to my Outlook, and I will create a new mail for demonstration. For the purpose of the demonstration, I have configured the AI agent to myself, my user. So I will then be sending a test email to myself to demonstrate the functionality of our AI agent. So in my email, I will be prompting it to process the purchase order, and I will attach the quote as well to the email. So once we have reviewed the body of the email, we can just send it through. So what this does in the background is it sends the email to the AI agent, which will then receive the email. It will read through the content of the email, read through the attached document, extract the required fields from the document, and send it through to Flow4Every1, populating all the required fields. So this is an example of the email that the agent will receive once configured. The body of the email, we can also review the quote from here to review all the relevant details that we need to be captured in the purchase order. So the line item details, the totals, and the supply as well. So once this is complete, we can then navigate back to Flow4Every1, where we will refresh the dashboard view. So once the purchase order is created, we should receive a notification in Teams and Outlook to notify us that the purchase order has been created successfully. And from Outlook, Teams, and Flow4Every1, we are able to review the details of the purchase order. So we can see now that we have refreshed the view that the status has updated to requested, and this is the purchase order that was created by the AI agent. We are able to inspect it for the individual details by clicking on the eye toggle, and we are presented with the purchase order screen that displays everything that was extracted from the quote and populated into the relevant fields that match in Flow4Every1. And we are also able to review the quotation from here by clicking on the attachments, and we can review everything that has been captured and compare it to what has been populated by the AI agent in Flow4Every1. And we are now able to take action from either Outlook, Teams, or Flow4Every1, both doing bulk approve or approving from inside the purchase order. I will approve this one from here. And then this should return us to the dashboard screen. So once we are on the dashboard screen, we can see that the purchase order status has changed to approved. So we can now navigate back to our notification in Teams, where we're able to see that the purchase order was sent for request indeed, and we're able to confirm the details that it extracted and populated, who it was requested by. We can add any additional required comments if necessary and approve it or reject it from there. And we're also able to navigate back to Outlook to review the same notification that we can receive in Outlook and take action from there, review the details, approve it or reject it, and take further action. Once the process is complete, we do receive an email afterwards from the agent letting us know that the purchase order has been processed successfully. So this highlights our procurement process, ladies and gentlemen. And that is all from my side.
Thanks so much, Kaya. We finished a bit early today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A section, or you can use the message section. We've also got Bessa, our sales lady here. If you've got any sales queries, she's happy to help. And as mentioned, we are offering an obligation-free workflow assessment. Should you wish to take us up on that, just reach out to sales@dataforeveryone.com or give us a call, and we'll gladly set up an appointment to review your current setup and see how we can help with Flow4Every1. Doesn't look like we have any questions. I'll wait another minute if anyone wants to pop their questions. Again, and you can also just reply to my email if you do have any questions, or if you want to book your assessments, then we can forward that on to the sales team. I know you've got a question. I'm going to just unmute you. You can go right ahead and ask away. Oh, it's a Vilma, sorry. You guys can use the chat function. I'm just trying to unmute you now.
Hi there, can you hear?
Yes.
This is
Hi,
Wilma. I did pop a question on the Q&A, but I don't know, and I spelled ledger wrong. very embarrassing.
Oh, I see.
Maybe I missed it because I also had to answer some WhatsApp. How does it integrate with your GL ledger and project setup on Sage Evo? I didn't see any link there between the GL accounts.
I'm going to unmute Mardis so you can jump in there. Mardis,
Good morning.
should be
Thanks.
unmuted.
Thanks, Liz. Good morning, everybody. So, Vilna, to answer your question, you have the option pretty similar to Sage 200, where you can toggle between ledger and item. So if it's a ledger, then you just choose your ledger account as usual, and the projects part of it can be added as a line. So you can select projects based on your lines that you enter, or you can select a project on the PO header to default all the lines. It's very, very similar to what is in Sage 200 when you when you create the purchase orders directly in Sage 200. So all the functionality is there, and it's also customizable. So if your organization has specific fields or customized fields that you can add there, we can bring it in for you.
So you'll pull it up from Sage Evolution because it
Correct.
happens in Sage and
Correct.
will automatically update here.
Correct. So we read the master data from your ERP. So it could be Sage, it could be Business Central, or if you have any other ERP systems, we can also connect to that. So we don't maintain the master data. So your vendor master data, your projects, your GL accounts, that remains in your ERP. We return it back for selection purposes.
And now will the AI agent know what to use?
So it maps it. It's got intelligence built in, so it'll do a best case. So it reads your data, so your data is available. So it does a mapping based on the description of the quotes, and if there's an exception, it will go out for the exception to be managed. So it reads your data basically, and it finds the best possible match. And as you use it, and as as with any AI, it becomes more and more accurate over time. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, thank you.
Great. So I see you've got a lot of questions. Not sure, unless if you can maybe unmute Anu Breitenbach.
I have. I think you just need to unmute yourself, Anu.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, that's my mistake. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Thanks, Anu.
Great. Hi, Mardis. How are you doing?
Okay.
Good, thank you. Actually, I have a ton of questions.
Okay.
To be honest. So, you mentioned 10 files per flow, so I'm guessing that's attachment. Is that a limitation, or can it be more? We have some customers that have more attachments that they add than 10.
Yeah, it can be more. The only reason why we limited it is, I think it's understandable that there is a size consideration and a performance consideration.
Okay.
So it can be more. We just obviously build in some rules for size management, etc. But it can be unlimited. We just, for now, it's just to manage performance and data storage.
Okay, then thank you for that. Like I said, I have a lot of questions, so I'm gonna try and run through them as quickly as possible.
No
then
problem.
also, you guys mentioned you do 200 in Business Central. Is that
Yes.
the only ERPs you currently have integration for?
No, we can do integration to any ERP. We've got standard integrations to 200 in Business Central. And but any ERP obviously limited to the capabilities of the ERP and what they have available. Yeah.
Okay. And then with regards to that, we saw purchase order now. Is there any limitations on modules or integration points from a 200 perspective that you don't have at the moment or anything like that?
So dependent on, so we use the standard integration, the SDK for Sage 200. So dependent on the limitations of the SDK, that is our limitation. So we do not write into the database directly, just because of data integrity. So yeah.
What I actually mean around is, let's say I have a customer that wants to do cash book journal entries. Does it exist already, or would you have to do a customized integration point for us?
Yeah, so no, we do. So how can I say the connection to the SDK is already available. So it's basically just a front end for input purposes from the client side that we customize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, then from the screens, is there how customizable are they? Can you add additional fields?
Yes.
Even non-ERP related fields?
Yes. Yes, you can. Yeah.
And then, okay, that's fine. You answered the integration layer. I just wanted to make sure it's through the SDK. That's fine. How does on-prem work? Because I see this is now in. It's a power app. So how do you deploy it locally for a customer?
So
let's say I have a customer that doesn't run Microsoft.
Yeah, so it's a standalone, so you can access it just via web browser. You don't necessarily have to access it via Teams. And then it's a standalone app, but it is cloud only. But we do connect to on-prem systems. So if the ERP or they might have an operational system that they would like to connect to and build business process flows around, we connect to that on-prem system. Just again, depending on availability, the capabilities and limitations of that system. Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with that. From an approvals perspective, is there is it only amount driven, or is there can the rules be set up for other scenarios? So for example, we can say have a UDF, a user defined field in 200 that we use to flag customers that we struggle with, that we always want additional approval on, and then have the rule look at that UDF, or is it only amount driven?
No. So we can build those rules in for you to do certain things. Obviously, that's a bit of a customization, but it can definitely be done. It's also from a procurement perspective, we obviously do the limit of authority is usually the most general method used in organizations. But if you have specialized rules, like, for example, it's a departmental approval that needs to go to the first departmental the department head for approval, and then it goes to CFO, or we can build in those rules.
Okay. And how does the securities and roles work in the system? So is there role-based securities, or is it just if you have a login? How do you manage that? I didn't see a config to manage that sort of thing.
Yeah, securities is basically linked to the approver. So the approver can only see what is sent to him. They can't see any other items. So we've simplified that significantly, and then we obviously use Microsoft's single sign-on as the login and the credentials for accessing the application.
Okay, and then I'm not sure what the audience looks like
Mm.
in here, if it's mostly customers or if it's that you're looking for business partners.
It's mostly customers.
Mostly
It's,
customers.
Yes. So if you
So I'm
if you wanna
asking more
have,
questions
yeah.
from a business partner perspective.
But
there's my
it's also
last.
customer relevant, so you're
Okay.
welcome to ask. I'm sure somebody will find value.
So the last question I had was more related specifically to a partner perspective. How is there a way for our consultants to be able to implement it? Is there like a partner
Yes.
onboarding program, or if there's like, for example, we've discussed the rules. If we want to implement something like that at one of our customers, do we have to reach out to you guys to do it, or will my consultants be able to do it themselves?
No, I'm sure they'll be able to, depending on experience with the Microsoft suite of products. But, we can always have a discussion regarding that, maybe you and myself, and see how best we can roll that out. There's definitely options.
Okay, great. I think that's all my questions. And I'd just like to ask you if afterwards, please reach out to me. I'd like to set up a meeting with you guys to just discuss some possibilities, especially from a partnering perspective.
No problem, Anu. Thank you very much. I see, Mr. Frank, you've got a couple of questions.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I only have one question. I think the other one was indirectly answered. With regards to the number of approvers, I noted that Leslie mentioned that you can set up to 4 approvers. Now, if you have, for example, many projects in excess of 10, and each of those projects have got different approvers, are you able to set up all those approvers beyond the 4 mentioned?
Yes.
That can be done?
Yes, it can be done. So we basically split it. It's almost like a departmental split. So where we say, okay, this is the department, and the approver for this department will be Mr. X. And whenever something is submitted to that department, it will go to Mr. X. And you can have unlimited departments, which in your case will be a project. So unlimited projects, and with the 4 levels of approvers for that project.
Okay, thank you very much. Then finally, just to confirm, you mentioned that that data we put here is not retained in this application. It remains on the ERP. Is that so?
The master data. So that would be information like the supplier data. So that's in your ERP. So you don't create a supplier in Flow4Every1. You create the supplier in your ERP, and then Flow4Every1 will read it in order for you to select it. But the transactional data, so the purchase order details, we do keep in the database of Flow4Every1, which is Microsoft's Dataverse. So it's linked to that, and that then writes back to your ERP to create a purchase order in your ERP. That is exactly the same.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Let me just check, Mr. Rob. Yes, so we will ask Les to just send a copy of, sorry, just to read the question out for that Rob has asked. So Rob requested for a copy of the slideshow and the recording. So Leslie will send it out to everybody who was in the meeting after this session. Any other questions from anybody? Right. Okay, Lisa, I think back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. That concludes our demonstration. Like Marta said, we will send through a recording And we are offering the obligation-free assessment. So feel free to reach out if you've got any questions or if you'd like an assessment. We're here. Right. So everyone must have a good day further. And like I said, reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.